Pleased to be joined by one of us by way of flipping his college commitment from Notre Dame to your University of Minnesota Golden Gophers, now wrapping up his rookie season in one of the more highly coveted retirement locations for the Minnesota Snowbirds, Logan Cooley. Thanks for jumping on with us, Logan.
Yep, thank you guys for having me.
Of course. And we open with this, and Jimmy struggled with this one a little bit, so we'll see how you do. But Rorschach test, what do you see when you look at the Minnesota Wild logo?
Yeah, I mean, I think my dad kind of told me about it earlier on when I was little. I know you could see like the outline with like the trees, and I think there might be like the sun or something in there a little bit, but yeah, I don't know too much about it, but I know there's like if you really look at it, there's like the outline of the trees, and yeah, but it's a pretty cool logo.
Like as you can tell, like the pod is Fellowship of the Ring, so it's a playoff of the Lord of the Rings thing. And I was curious, like, I don't know if you're into Lord of the Rings or do you have a kind of a nerd fandom that you kind of follow, like whether it's Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, like some sort of book type or movie series that's all that you're all into?
Honestly, no, I wasn't too big into like Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or anything like that. So no books either. I left that at school, so haven't carried that on with me here. But yeah, I mean, I think just any little shows on Netflix like Outer Banks, little things like that is something that I like to watch.
I'm sure video games too are a big part of it, right? Like you guys can keep in touch with guys on video games and stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Always playing, some Xbox here and there, especially on days off. Usually just resting. So get on with some of the guys back home and have a good time on there.
I know you grew up in the Pittsburgh area. I know we talked about this before, but I think people would be surprised that you were a big Ovi fan growing up. And just how did that just start overall? Because I think you'd be kind of like a hated guy there wearing Ovi stuff around the area.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know exactly, the exact moment or that I really became, a big fan of his, but I always just liked the Caps, just the way they played, and obviously they were really good. It was always them in Pittsburgh, and the second round going at it, and I love just having a little rival with other family members or family friend type things. So it was always a rowdy when it came around the playoff time, and 2018 I always say was a good year for me and the Caps.
Did you ever get a chance to interact with them this year at any of the games? Like I know a big thing is like trading sticks or like asking for sticks. I wasn't sure if you had the confidence to do that in year one.
Yeah, I got a stick from him, which was pretty cool. It's back in AZ right now. I got it signed, and that was obviously pretty special to play against him, and you're a little bit starstruck seeing him out on the ice, and but yeah, it was a pretty cool moment, and got a stick from him and signed, and something that I'll have forever.
How does that work? Do you like ask through like the equipment guys, or you go up them yourself, or how does that kind of process work when you try to secure it?
Yeah, I think it's usually between the equipment managers and our assistant coach was at the Capitals for a while too, and I think he kind of asked him, and I was fortunate enough to get one, so it was nice of him to do that, and like I said, something that I'll have forever.
How do you feel about your first year? Sorry about that, Scott. How do you feel about your first year?
Yeah, I think early on, obviously, I went through some struggles as expected, your first year in the league, but the back half, I felt like I've found my game a little more, still trying to find ways to really produce in this league and have success. So I think each game you learn a little more, and try to just learn from guys on the team, and to try to help your game.
And I mean, Sidney Crosby, I know you don't care for him too much, but he spent his first couple of years living with Mario Lemieux. You decided to one-up him and move in with Michael Grabner and family. What is it like being able to live with an NHLer and get to at least pick little snippets up from him as you go into your rookie season?
Yeah, it was awesome. I think, early on when I was going through those struggles, the whole family was, super supportive, and especially, obviously Michael just telling me he's went through the same things, and, he's been traded, bought out, kind of been through everything. So he's, a guy that, I really looked up to. And, like I said, he was super supportive of me and just trying to help me get through those tough times. He always, kind of said that, it doesn't last forever and you'll get out of it. So just trying to stay with it and just learn any little thing you can from, a guy that, has played whatever 500 or plus years in the league and kind of been through it all. So it was definitely, super awesome that I had the chance to, kind of learn from a guy like him. And, it was, really helpful.
Yeah. And
you had those kids too, like you had to, played around with and stuff like that. I'm sure that kept things light for you after a rough game, going back and seeing those guys. They probably wanted to play video games or hang out with you.
Yeah, definitely. They're all three unbelievable kids. And, like you said, if you're a tough game or, anything, just they always brighten up your day and, would always make it a little bit easier. So it was super nice to, be around them, and they made you still feel like a little kid. So it was, definitely a fun time.
Is there a game or anything that you like play with the kids where you cannot beat them?
I don't know. I don't think there's any that, I think the older one, Aiden, was big into Fortnite, and, the younger one, they call him Benji, is always playing with his monster trucks and little things like that. So it's, it wasn't a ton of video games, honestly, just more, hanging out, playing with each other, and, little things like that. It kept it light and it was fun.
What was the biggest surprise about the NHL in your first year? Thing that you always assumed what it was like, and then what might have, caught you by surprise a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously I talk about this a lot, the speed of the game and just how fast it is. You always realize, or you always see how, quick it looks on TV, but you never really know until, you're actually in it. So just the speed of the game and, how fast it is, how quick you need to make plays. And, another big thing I think is the travel too. Not a lot of people realize how much you're, traveling, you're, staying in 8 different hotels on a road trip. And then, you get back to, say Arizona, and, you have a day off, then play the next day. So it's a tough schedule. You need to take care of your body and make sure it's, ready to go each and every night.
Yeah. Let's talk about that preseason play, the highlight reel that everyone talked about. Is that something where you had that premeditated going in, or did you just black out, mash the buttons, and things worked out?
Yeah, I think it's more of a blackout type thing, but yeah, I mean, if I could draw that up every night, I think I would. But I think it's just instincts. Just trying to read the play and take the best play that's going to help you make a play or score a goal. So that was a pretty special one. I wish it was in the regular season, but the whole experience of just going to Australia and playing hockey over there, I never thought I'd be doing that, and as an NHLer too. So that was definitely special. That was kind of almost like a welcome into the NHL, just being around the guys, and playing against LA too was pretty special.
I know I was around you around October, around Halloween, and you were kind of laughing, saying you wish you were back for the Halloween parties on campus and stuff like that. What weekends or what parts of the year you kind of really miss kind of college? Maybe the Frozen Fours this weekend, or what kind of times you're like, hey, I miss being back at the U?
Yeah, I mean, I think just my whole experience, at the U was unbelievable, and I wouldn't change it for, the world. That was, in my opinion, it's the best spot to play college hockey, and just the team we had too was such a special group, and, unbelievable guys and players on that team. And, our staff was unreal too, and it really helped me, kind of make the next step to the next level. And I think just obviously, having a sweep or, on the weekend, and then just hanging out with the guys, enjoying the weekend. And there's nothing like, beating, Wisconsin, sweeping them, or, a team like North Dakota, then going out to, hang out. So it's pretty cool, and, something I'll remember forever.
You were there as a fan too at Mariucci this year for a game. What's that experience like of being a fan at one of those games, watching some guys you played with play this year?
Yeah, it was different. Felt a little weird. It made me want to get out there a little bit and, help the guys. But yeah, that rink is always, has an unbelievable atmosphere, and there's nothing like putting on that Minnesota jersey and going out and competing and in front of those fans in that student section, and it still gives me chills thinking about it. And when you come out on the ice and it's rocking, there's no better feeling than that.
And this year, I mean, talk about your inception into the league. What was it like seeing a guy like the second coming of Doan come in and just light up the entire arena this year?
Yeah, he's actually my roommate right now, so I can't say too much. Can't pump his tires too much, but yeah, it's cool. I played against him when he was at the Steel and some World Junior camps, little things like that. And obviously he's a great guy to be around, and he's playing well for us. Yeah, I mean that whole story of his dad and what he's done for Arizona, it's pretty special.
You have perspective having been obviously a young talented forward coming into the league, and people are asking about the Calder Trophy debate, whether it's you as Faber, it's Bedard, like where do you kind of fall on that, especially when it comes to Brock and Connor, two different guys, two different positions adjusting to the NHL?
Yeah, I mean, I think each media person or whatnot is going to have their own saying on who should win it, and it's tough. There's it's obviously a great rookie class, and a ton of guys that are having really good years, and it's obviously Brock is to be honest, I didn't know he had that offensive in him, but yeah, I always knew he was a great shutdown guy, great defensive player, and it's pretty cool to see him have success with that Wild team, and obviously Bedard's a heck of a player too, so it's a great rookie class. It's fun to go up and compete against the top rookies in the league, and not only the rookies, just guys like McDavid, McKinnon. It's always fun to go against the best and compete against them.
Obviously, Snuggerud made his decision to stay. I know you're close with him. Just what was that like, kind of helping him? I know Brock said he talked to him on the phone. I'm sure you talked to him quite a bit. Like, how much did you help, or what was that like to kind of help him through that?
Yeah, I talked to him a decent amount. Just try to tell him what the NHL life is like, and it's a grind. You're basically playing every other day and traveling a ton, and so just told him that whenever you think you're the most ready to be successful and help the Blues win, and just take your career to the next step. So I think for him, he thought going back is gonna be the best decision, and it's on him, and I think he's gonna obviously strive this year and continue to get better, and then be ready to help that Blues take the next step.
Take me through it. You're planning on going to Notre Dame. You sit down in the locker room. Jimmy Snuggerud puts his arm around you. What's the sales pitch? How does he talk you into being a Gopher?
Yeah, I mean, I think I committed to Notre Dame when I was 14 years old. So, obviously at that time you're super young. You're still in whatever, not even high school yet. So you see the gold helmets and, you think that's the spot you want to be. But obviously as you get older, you kind of realize, what you think is best for you. And at that time I thought, what's best for me is to, kind of change routes. And, obviously I knew Knies at the time, Faber, Chesley was going there, Snuggerud, and I knew we were going to have a special team, and obviously I knew the coaching staff at Minnesota was unbelievable, and I thought they were going to help me not only become a better player, but person also, and obviously when you're coming to school, you want to win that national championship, and we had a good run, came up short, but that was the spot where I thought was best for me, and I thought it was overall.
I know your mom wanted you to go to Penn State, I thought, is what she said. So was it hard to kind of tell her to break her heart a little bit and say, I'm leaving town a little for a while?
Yeah. Obviously I, went around a couple schools, kind of looked around, and, she liked me close to home, so I can't blame her. But, I knew that going to Minnesota was going to give me the best chance to, become a better player and, make a run at that national championship.
Nice. And there was, rumors, and this is when Gopher fans will always get up in arms. sounded like it was kind of down to Minnesota or North Dakota when you were making your decision. How close were you to going to North Dakota? And how do you say no to all those cool green lights and the cryo chambers and stuff that they got up there?
Yeah, it was super tough. It was, Penn State, Minnesota, and, North Dakota were kind of my final three. And, I went back and forth for a while. It's, obviously 3 unbelievable schools and, really good atmospheres at all 3 of them. So, I think just for me, when it came down to, guys I knew on the team, Snuggerud, Knies, Faber, guys that, I was familiar with, I had the chance to, talk to them for a while. And they kind of just told me about the program and, how it's helped them. And so, I haven't really knew, a ton of guys at North Dakota too. So I didn't, know too much about it. You just see the rink and see the atmosphere and stuff. But, for me, it was, what I was most comfortable with. And at that time, I thought it was Minnesota.
When was the moment you realized that line you had with Knies and Snuggerud was going to be something special? Was it like the first time they put you together? Was it like one of the early games you guys had? Or when did you kind of tell that was going to be something different?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me and Snuggy, we, played with each other 2 years before coming to that. So we knew we were, had a good chemistry and kind of knew where each other were on the ice. So, and obviously when they put Knies with us, it, kind of just clicked right away. I believe it was, in practice, it just, it felt right. It felt like, we were always making plays, always knew where each other were. And, from there, I think we kind of took off and, we just had fun too. I think that's an important part is just, having fun on the ice, doing what you love and, just trying to enjoy it and have fun.
And speaking of Matty Knies, he actually had a question he wanted us to ask you on here.
Gosh.
What SPF do you use?
Oh my gosh. Did he say that to you or did you make that up?
Does it matter?
Maybe not. Yeah. I don't know. That was kind of an inside joke that went a little viral. I didn't think it was going to get that big, but yeah, it was funny. That was, right around the Frozen Four, and that whole experience was just, a fun time in Tampa.
How would you describe the difference of like playing a Frozen Four versus like a World Juniors or NHL or just regular season game, like the Frozen Four atmosphere and what that's like? How would you describe it?
Yeah, that was one of the, cooler experience that, I've had playing hockey. Playing World Juniors is, obviously pretty special, just representing your country, the big lights, and obviously the NHL now it's cool. You're playing in front of some pretty nice rinks and some pretty unbelievable fans too. But for me, there's nothing like that Frozen Four experience of, just, getting your way to, you got to win that first game, then you get the chance to play in the national championship. And, we had a great showing of Gopher fans there too. And, unfortunately we kind of let them down a little bit, but yeah, it would have been a lot better talking about it if we would have won that. But yeah, it's tough to, even still to this day, just, that whole experience just, it eats at you a little bit of, losing that game. But overall, just a great showing and, definitely one of my favorite times playing hockey.
I think the guys were mentioning like after the plane ride home, like the day after, something like that, like a lot of you guys got together at the hockey house, just hung out and like grilled out and like played cornhole or whatever like that. Like, how would you put that emotions in perspective of what that was like? You probably knew Brock was going. Obviously, I think Matt was leaving. What was those emotions like for you guys that day?
Yeah, it was tough. I think, the whole plane ride home, it was pretty much silent though, no noise. And obviously you get in late on the bus and the next day you just, hoping it was just a dream that, we lost that game. But yeah, it was tough. It was obviously nice to, just be around the guys a little more. And, like you said, you saw Brock sign the next day. Then I remember just being around when Knies was, on the phone with his agent and, thinking about signing. So it's never easy to, you play with guys for a year, then, you see them go. It's never easy. And especially after losing too, which made it a lot tougher.
Can you
I remember you saying at the Frozen Four, I asked about like the NHL. You're like, hey, this is where you can still be a kid here, and like there, it's like be your pro, like it's your job, like it's a lot to decision to ask of a guy who's like 18 years old to make that kind of decision. Like, is that something where you went back and forth an awful lot? going towards the course of that summer?
Yeah, for sure. I went, back and forth with a lot of things, and at one point you're gonna have to make that jump anyway. So I thought, for me it's just I talked to a guy like Clayton Keller for a good bit of the summer, just trying to learn as much as I can from him, and he kind of told me what to expect, which was a big help for me. But like I said, it was you're 18, 19 years old coming in when you're playing a line with a guy that's 31 years old, and it's different. It's definitely a kind of a unique experience, but it's also guys have welcomed me in so nicely, and really helped that transition a lot easier.
Knowing what you know now, and you played the NHL for a year, like you've obviously shown you can produce at that level. Like, would you have done the same decision again if you had to go back?
Yeah, that's that's a tough one. I think what makes it the toughest is just losing that final game and not having a chance to win again, win the national championship. That's the thing that kind of, like I keep saying, eats at me the most and is the toughest to kind of leave. I think going back and forth last summer, that was obviously I wanted to play in the NHL, and I felt like I was ready, but at the same time I was thinking about that loss and how close we were, and what we could have possibly done again, or what we could do differently next year. So it was tough, but I'd say that's the biggest thing that went into my decision.
And looking at, probably a pretty cool experience being able to go up onto the stage with Matty Knies for the Hobie ceremony, but Fantilli winning that, all the rivalry against Michigan that year. I'm sure there's been, Canada, US, whatever. Like, is there at all like an ongoing like camaraderie or rivalry or both that you guys have? Like, if you play Columbus, do you like stop and talk to him, or is there any animosity there?
Oh, I don't think so. Obviously, like I said before, it's fun to go against other top rookies in the league, and just compete against them. I think there's always a little rival between top players and guys that have played against each other for a while, and so. But yeah, there's obviously a little something there, and it was always fun when you had the chance to beat Michigan, and but yeah, like I keep saying, it's fun going against top rookies and getting the best out of each other, and coming out on top.
What's the weirdest thing you've signed as an NHL player? Is that fan fest with you? They're like, there's a lot of things that people come up with. I have no idea where they came from.
You sign a baby yet?
What's that?
Did you sign a baby yet?
Not yet. Yeah, I think just like an arm or a forehead. They give you a permanent marker and ask you to sign the forehead, and you look over at the mom and they're just saying no. So, but yeah, I'd just say like a body part or something like that, but nothing too crazy yet.
Have you kept the Chipotle like kind of sponsorship in the NHL? I saw Brock is getting some Chipotle love, I think now, for like some advertising kind of thing.
Yeah, it was. I think for me, it was more of a just college type thing. Obviously that was pretty fun last year. Just taking the guys at Chipotle and getting them some free meals, and in college you're not going anywhere too special, so it's nice when you could get a free meal.
So what's the new palette then? Like, where is Logan Cooley in the NHL going out for food?
Yeah, I think just the guys that that have been in the league for a while just usually ask if you want to go out, and they find the good spots. I'm not too picky with the big spots around these cities, so they know where to go, and you kind of just follow them and get a pretty good meal out of it.
What did you have to do for your rookie dinner? Did you do a skit? Did you do a joke, or did you do something else?
Yeah, you just have to kind of tell a joke or chirp one of the guys on the team. But overall, it's fun. It really kind of brings you together as a team, and you really feel welcomed after that. And but yeah, we had ours in Boston, and it was pretty cool, and happy to get that over with and get that dinner paid.
Did you do a joke, or which one did you do? Which one did you pick for your
Yeah, I honestly don't even remember too much. I think you just tell a joke or chirp someone or something just cheesy, and then all the guys go crazy. Which, like I said, it really felt like it kind of brought you and made you feel like one of them, especially a new guy coming into the league. So, yeah, it was nice, and like I said, happy to get that over.
Quick revert to Gophers before we come up on wrapping up here, but I appreciate you starting the pipeline from Pittsburgh to the Gophers. And I know Pittsburgh, I mean, it's a big area, so maybe you haven't heard of this guy, but familiar at all with a kid named LJ Mooney? Like any kind of scouting report you can give us on this guy?
Yeah, he's a guy that I skate with, in the summer, and just kind of wows you every time you're on the ice with them, and a guy that I think Gopher fans are gonna like to watch here pretty soon. He's he'll bring you out of your seat, and obviously he's up with the 18s now at the program, and just killing it there, and I can't wait to see him wearing that Minnesota jersey, and maybe see if he takes on 92 there, but yeah, we'll see. But happy for him, and happy he made that decision, and it's definitely the right spot to be.
Who's the guy to beat at the alumni golf tournament this summer when you come back to the Gophers thing?
Geez, that's a tough one. I don't know. I don't think Knies is pretty good. I don't know. Maybe Fabes. Maybe I'll like to take on Lacombe. I think that'll be the biggest one.
Maybe we have a golf question we can ask you since you're already there, Scott.
Yeah, let's get into it. And I mean, you're familiar with these guys, Logan. Waggle Golf question that we ask everybody at the end of the show. Getyourwaggleon.com, promo code SP10 if you want to take 10% off the order. Before we even get into the typical question, I got to ask you, what was the inspiration behind the hat design you threw out there?
Yeah, I think, for me, my whole family's kind of, love the Irish, and, we're big into that. So I thought it'd be pretty cool to, I'm a big McGregor fan too, and he always has that, Irish flag around, and, I thought the shamrock and, the Irish colors there would go good together. And, I haven't really seen kind of a golf hat like that. So it's pretty cool. And obviously what Waggle was doing there, it's pretty special. And, obviously their clothes are, wear them every time I golf, and, wear a hat too. So it's an unbelievable brand, and, happy I got to do something with them.
So when you're wearing your Waggle gear, if you went out on your favorite course, I want you to construct your dream golf foursome. Who are the other three guys that you'd have out there with you? And I don't care if it's people you've played hockey with, athletes in other sports, dead or alive. Just give me the dream golf foursome.
Wow, it's a tough one. I think, obviously a guy I like watched growing up, Ovechkin, would be pretty cool. Maybe Brady, McGregor, and yeah, not bad. I think just guys that at the top of their sports would be pretty cool.
Who'd be in your cart? Who would you pick to ride with?
Probably Ovi. I think I'd get some good chuckles out of that.
I can't even imagine that guy on a golf course.
I'm not sure there'll be too much golfing, but
no.
What would be the course you'd go? What would be the course you'd pick?
Oh, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think, I don't know. Maybe Pebble Beach, something like that would be pretty cool.
God, it's funny. Ovi's the guy that I go to immediately when I see all the people at the Waste Management Open out there in Arizona. I see him being the guy that's going to go and try and dive into a sand trap, just having the best time of his life.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think after they won the cup, when he was swimming in that waterfall or water fountain, whatever that was. So, yeah, he definitely seemed exactly.
He's made for Happy Gilmore too, I think. He's made for the sequel.
Oh my God, if they brought him in, that'd be great.
The roster. But yeah, thanks so much, Logan, for doing this. Hopefully it's not raining like crazy in Seattle. You can get out there and enjoy your day. But really enjoyed watching you this year, catch up with you all season, and looking forward to catch up with you maybe later this summer at the alumni thing here.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.